We're in Proverbs chapter 26, beginning in verse 24. That's where we are today. And we are in a section here of words for harm. Words that are used to harm someone. We have in verse 23, it's fervent lips with a wicked heart are like earthenware covered with silver dross. We discussed that last week. And what that metaphor means. And now we come to this, verse 24. He who hates disguises it with his lips and lays up deceit within himself. Now, obviously, someone who hates, let's just, go ahead and say hates you. Everybody has somebody that doesn't like them. Somebody that hates you doesn't necessarily mean they're hiding anything about it. They may be very verbal about it, but they're also the sort that they don't like you at all and may very well hate you, but will disguise it with their lips. They're not going to say it to you. They may be, but they're going to be here in the context of all this, lays up deceit within himself, okay? And this is lying, but also maybe there's something else that is occurring here. Someone who is perhaps a flatterer. We've already seen that in in chapter 29, verse 5. A man who flatters his neighbor sets a net for his feet. But Proverbs 10:18, whoever hides hatred has lying lips. But here is, he who hates disguises it with his lips and lays up deceit within himself. Okay, so within Jeremiah chapter 41, beginning in verse 1, going to verse 1 to 3, there is a governor by the name of Gedaliah. Gedaliah is warned that there is someone out there, and names him by name, Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah. He wants you dead. All right, he would like to kill you and be rid of you. Well, evidently Nethaniah had presented a different kind of facade or had a facade toward Gedaliah, and Gedaliah didn't believe it. He didn't believe it at all. Matter of fact, he invites Ishmael, the son of Nethaniah. He invites him for dinner, him and his men, and it doesn't end up the way Gedaliah thought it would, because he dies because Ishmael kills him there. And Ishmael had been deceptive. He wanted him dead, but he doesn't just tell him that because he would avoid Ishmael. But he had laid up deceit of, no, I am your friend. He wasn't. He was wanting to murder him. Now we come to verse 25. Here it continues on in this, and we have these verses 24 to 26. They all go together, and all are under this words for harm, which takes us back to 18. But here all of these are together. We have a continuation of this. When he speaks kindly, do not believe him. So we have he who hates, disguising it with his lips. He is speaking kindly to you. Now, how can you know if someone actually is being deceptive? Well, you might not be, like Gedaliah, you might not know, but be aware that someone, don't be naive. That's what it comes down to. Don't be naive, because he can speak kindly. Don't be deceived by him, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. All right, this person who is speaking flattery, perhaps speaking kindly, can have just every sort of wickedness there is. This idea of 7 abominations. Well, that's a load of them, and he has nothing good in there at all. But I want you to see this. When he speaks kindly, do not believe him. Let me give you a quote, and you tell me if it was spoken kindly or not. You shall not surely die. Does that sound like a kind thing? I mean, the words alone. I'm sure he didn't bare his teeth and claw and say, and shout out, you shall not surely die. I'm sure he didn't do that. Those words sound kindly. I'm concerned about you because God has told you this. No, you shall not surely die. You're not going to die. All right, those sound like kind words, but you talk about 7 abominations and then some, yeah, and then some. Satan was speaking in a kindly way, and of course he's going to do that, depending on his strategy at the moment. Does he want to frighten you about something? Does he want to lure you in? Well, he might use a different method. Intimidation for one, and just this kindness or fairness about it, or beauty about it. But all of it is deceptive. And Satan has been doing this from the very beginning. Don't be naive. Now, Eve was naive, and so was Adam, for that matter. They've never had to deal with no one's ever lied to them before that. Though they know the concept of it, they'll soon know the concept of it, they've never had anybody lie to them. They've never had anybody who did not have their best interest at heart. They didn't have a single enemy that they were aware of. Of course, Satan is. And of course they are in fact naive. But God warned them what they were to avoid. Take His word or somebody else's. Now you can't say that He abandoned them, because He didn't. He told them. Now they chose to believe Satan. They chose to believe him. Now, we come down to the next one, verse 26. Though his hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness will be revealed before the assembly. All right, in time, everyone will know who this person is. In time, after the spring has sprung, I should say, after the trap has done its thing, then everyone is going to know the wickedness and inside this person, that there is deceit here, there's hatred here. And for someone like Gedaliah, it was too late. But everyone knew after that, well, what was said about Ishmael, the son of Nathaniah, well, that's obviously true. But now we come to verse 27. Coming out from that part of words for harm, whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone will have it rolled back on him. All right, Ecclesiastes 10:8 states, he who digs a pit falls into it. We've already mentioned from the book of Esther with Haman and what occurred to him. We mentioned that in a very similar proverb earlier. And so we'll just take something that is not found in the biblical text, but as an example in all of this. And we can look at several examples. Adolf Hitler. All right, Adolf Hitler doesn't die of old age peacefully in his bed, surrounded by loving admirers. He doesn't. All right, he actually kills himself after he kills Eva Braun. He kills the two of them, and then his body is burned. All right, and so while he killed all these other people, and he did. He was the linchpin and all that. He was the one leading and all that. He ends up killing himself as well. You talk about a stone that crushes him. Well, it rolls back. And we'll also have others that we can look at. One a little bit further back in time would be the likes of someone like Thomas Cromwell. He was an advisor, very trusted advisor, and we could call him a fixer for Henry VIII. And Henry needed some fixing. And Thomas Cromwell was happy to do it because he gets a lot of things out of it. One is power and the other is riches. But if you're around Henry VIII, it doesn't matter if you're married to him or not. If you're around Henry VIII, that's a dangerous place to be, as Thomas Cromwell actually knew. And Thomas Cromwell is one of the fixers who, he was the one that pushed everything for Anne Boleyn to be beheaded. And in time, same thing happens to Cromwell. All right, in the same place. And they're actually buried next to each other. And so you do something, your own evil is going to come right back on you. Your wickedness is going to come back around. And we do have a saying of give a man enough rope, he'll hang himself. And there's the thing is of vengeance is mine, I will repay. And he will. Whether you see it or not is beside the point. And whether it comes in your convenience is beside the point. It will happen. And yes, ma'am.
There's also a saying that when you're digging a ditch for one person,
yep,
you might as well dig two.
Correct. Yes. If you're going to dig a ditch for your enemy, you might as well dig one for yourself. Because it's going to come back and get you. It's going to. And sometimes it's not so evident, but vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. And it doesn't matter if his vengeance comes in seconds after this wickedness has occurred, or if his vengeance comes in 40 years later. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. God's will is going to be done when He wants to do it. Plus, compared to eternity, it doesn't matter. Eternity is still eternity. It hardly matters concerning 40 years where it would seem like this person was just scot-free. This person received nothing, no kind of justice whatsoever. Well, God's going to do it. God will do it. Just leave it to Him. He's going to do it far better than you would have anyway. And from what I understand, there's hardly any satisfaction to such things anyhow. Let Him do it. I've heard of people, I cannot say this personally, I've heard of people of where they hate someone so much that person just invades their head. All right, late at night, that person's there. They get up, that person's there. It's just this hatred, and they go and they kill that person. That person's dead, but guess where else they are? They're still in the head. They are still there. That person's in the grave now. You put them there. That person's in the grave. How is it still there? You would think you'd be satisfied. Well, not really. No, not really. But we come to verse 28, and this connects back up to words for harm. A lying tongue hates those who are crushed by it, and a flattering mouth works ruin. All right, so how is a lying tongue showing hate to those who are crushed by it? By following your lie. They don't know it's a lie. By following your lie, they have been harmed. All right, there is no lie that actually benefits. There's no lie that benefits. Okay. And we can look at kind of feel-good sort of things. Never, ever bring up the Andy Griffith Show. But the Andy Griffith Show, there's an awful lot of lying and other things that go on in there. And it's always kind of a feel-good of we don't want to hurt their feelings or something like that. Anyway, and it has to do with, it's the episode of Aunt Bee's Pickles. And they're horrible. Everyone knows they're horrible. But they cannot tell her that. Okay, well, don't tell her. But don't lie about it either. Okay, don't tell her. You don't have to. But here's the punchline of that. She's going to continue to make them. You'll never be rid of these things. And so did you? I mean, I'm talking about a work of fiction, but really, what benefit was it? You may have spared her feelings, but perhaps she didn't realize putting kerosene in pickles or whatever she did. I don't know what she did. Is not a good thing. Okay, everyone is disgusted by it. But notice a lying tongue, this is far worse than something like that. A lying tongue hates those who are crushed by it. Yeah, that is showing a hate, showing a contempt that you would lie to this person. And I have known people, I've personally known people that they'd lie just about anything. All right, just for the fun of it. They're just making stuff up. And does it make them look good? I don't know. Does it make them look clever? I guess in their mind, and that they've pulled yet another one over on you. And maybe it wasn't anything that was destructive per se, because they're at least not to you. But just telling lies, just making things up for the sake of conversation. Well, that's not good either, and it is showing a contempt for the other person. That I'm telling you a lie, but you'll never figure it out. I'm saying these things, but you'll never figure out. Jude 16. These are grumblers, complainers, walking according to their own lusts, and they mouth great swelling words, flattering people to gain advantage. So here's this flattering mouth that works ruin. There it is. And sometimes you come across somebody who's so smooth, and they are flattering you, and you know, I can't trust this guy. You know it. This person's just too oily. This person is trying their best to flatter you. And here's the thing. That works really better on people who think too highly of themselves. That works a lot better on them than someone who is got their feet on the ground. Someone who is humble. It works, and there are people that may have gone through some sort of hardship, and maybe a flattering word now will do them. That they'll pay attention to it, and they'll follow the flattery. But by and large, someone who's humble remains grounded, and that there is a power in humility, and that a flattering mouth, may be able to recognize that pretty quick. Now we go to chapter 27, and we come to 2 verses on boasting. And the first one is boasting about your future. Boasting about that you got everything set. Everything is good. And this plays right into what James states in James chapter 4. I'm going to flip over there as quick as I can. James chapter 4. But here it is. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring forth. All right. Now notice this is boasting about tomorrow. Now we go to James chapter 4, beginning in verse 13. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city, spend a year there, buy and sell and make grain, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. But now you, look at the word, boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. Which takes us back to verse 13. Those who say today or tomorrow we will buy and sell, we will make a profit, we'll do all those things. This is a boast. It's not planning. Or this has nothing to do with making plans. This has nothing to do about even dreaming about doing such a thing. That I would like to do this and making plans to do this. It has nothing to do with that. This has everything to do about boasting in your arrogance. That this is what I am going to do, as though you know what the next minute is going to bring. Because we can look at someone like Nebuchadnezzar, who 1 minute he's talking about the greatness of Babylon, and no doubt it was great. No doubt it was magnificent. It is that head of gold. There is no doubt about this, but it is built for my magnificence. It is built because of me. And in that second, all right, there's not a whole lot of magnificence to him. He's a madman. All right. And he now wants to go eat grass on the lawn. All right. And when he comes out of it, he knows what had occurred. He knows the lesson that he learned. But boasting, yeah, next second, you can't have him as the king anymore. That's got to go. You can't be ruled by someone who thinks he's an ox. All right, and behaving like some kind of wild beast. How do you communicate with him? How best thing you do is keep that quiet. But and by the way, there is I just learned this a few weeks ago. There is a clay tablet from the time period. And it is in the British Museum. Now it's a fragment, but it's enough to know what they're talking about, who they're talking about. They're talking about it is a communication between some official to Nebuchadnezzar's son about Nebuchadnezzar. And it is about, okay, this is what's going on at the moment, and it's not good, and just various things that he's doing. And it's that would show that something did happen to him. And of course, God's not going to steer us wrong on anything, whether it's, He's not going to lie to us about anything, past, present, future. He's not going to. And every now and then, as we go through time, more evidence just kind of pops up. And okay, so I've gotten off of Proverbs and gone into the book of Daniel. But we now go to verse 2. This also is about boasting. Let another man praise you, and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. Okay, so we go back up. Be careful even concerning those who are praising you, because we just saw he who speaks kindly, do not believe him. Also that of this flattering lips, flattering mouth will work ruin. Let another man praise you. Yeah, okay, you can't stop them. And maybe it's sincere, maybe it's not sincere, but you keep a level head. Not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. All right? Your works may be discovered by others and praised. Or your works may never be discovered and receive no praise from any other human being during your life. It doesn't matter. God knows everything you have done. You give a child a drink of water, God knows it. Okay? And that He knows exactly what you have done. That sort of thing doesn't make headlines here. All right, no one is greatly interested in that, but God is. And interested in everything that we do. So don't be the one boasting about yourself. I know of nothing more boring. Well, I could probably think of some things that are boring, but it's frustrating as well, of hearing two men trying to outdo each other in one-upmanship. Oh man, I just want to jump off a cliff, as one man said. And just listening, well, we did this over here. Oh, you did that? Well, we did this over here. It's, okay, enough. Do you think we care? And let the other guy do the boasting. You just be quiet. All right, it doesn't matter. Let him do the boasting and just be quiet. And in here, coming back to this, if there's going to be praise, let somebody else do it. Let somebody else do it, or it just doesn't get done, and you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay. And what do they say about it? It is a saying that a good is actually determined by the things you do when no one's around to see you do it. Okay, that you did it, and no one is there to praise you for it. No one is there to see. Oh, well, that's astonishing. They did that. But it's doing things and not expecting the praise, not expecting the limelight. That you don't need the attention for it. And someone that needs the attention, is there sincerity in what they did? That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe not. But we move on to verse 3, 27 verse 3. A stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than both of them. Now this is a different kind of construction here, with the metaphor coming first, and you don't have two parallel things. I guess by way of weight, they're parallel. But a stone is heavy and sand is weighty, but a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. And so and we're coming to another similar sort of setup in verse 4. But, okay, so the stone is heavy, the sand is weighty, but there's something greater still. Something that's heavier still. And that is the wrath of a fool. The wrath of a fool. And Job 5 and verse 2, for wrath kills a foolish man. And we come down to verse 4. Wrath is cruel and anger a torrent, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Now, it's not the same subject per se, but it's showing the first two things are, that's bad. Now, here's something that's even worse. First two things are heavy. Now, here's something even heavier. And that is, who's able to stand before jealousy? Well, you have Proverbs 6 and 34 talking about jealousy is a husband's fury. And also that he did not know it would cost him his life. Well, the implication is that's the man who is with the adulteress. That's not his wife. He did not know it would cost him his life. I don't think she killed him. I think her husband did. All right? And who's able to stand before jealousy? The Song of Solomon 8 and verse 6, jealousy as cruel as the grave. And there is or has been at times, of where a murder has been, and it was murder, but is judged as an act of jealousy, and it's kind of lowered in the eyes of the law. And that as an act of jealousy, that there is a part of it that, that has to be overlooked in it. Not that it's completely overlooked, but that it's not like it was premeditated. There is an expectation that that sort of thing will happen. And you have someone now who's dead. Now we come to verse 5. And these, verse 5 and verse 6 go together. Open rebuke is better than love carefully concealed. Okay? And open rebuke, well, that is for the Proverbs 9:8. Do not correct a scoffer lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man and he will love you. And here is this rebuke, talking about rebuke. Rebuke has a positive effect. You may not like it. No one really likes it, but it has a positive effect. Now, the scoffer and the fool, they're going to reject it outright, just immediately. But it shouldn't be. Rebuke is, in fact, showing a greater love than love carefully concealed. All right? That it is showing truly a concern for you, trying to correct something that needs to be corrected. And of course, Timothy is told by Paul that he is to correct, to rebuke, to instruct. He's told to do those things. That is part of Timothy's duty, and actually it's all our duty. It doesn't just belong to Timothy. It doesn't just belong to preachers. It is everyone's duty to do this. And also with this rebuke, there is respect shown to that person. That I love you enough to tell you what you need to know. And it may be painful right now, but I'm showing you a great amount of concern, of love, of respect in doing this. That this just needs to be corrected. We come to verse 6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. The friend is not going to hurt you, a true friend, not a false one, but a true friend is not going to hurt you for the sake of hurting you, maybe doing it for the sake of protecting you. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Yeah, here's this flattery, here's this supposed friendship, supposed love or admiration, and it is, an enemy doing that, and it's all by way of deceit. What does the enemy want? Certainly not to admire or to appreciate or to love, but there's something else going on. And it is deceit. But the wounds of a friend could very well be that of rebuke. The wounds of a friend may be correction and trying to help that person and it may, it may hurt for a bit, but still truly an act of love. Now, verse 7. A satisfied soul loathes the honeycomb, but to a hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. Okay, so I think there's more. This can be applied in numerous ways, and but it's basically telling something that you would just kind of know instinctively that you can have too much of a good thing. A satisfied soul, someone who's satisfied with honey, isn't going to want any more honeycomb. They've had enough for a while. A hungry soul, any bitter thing, anything will be sweet. Anything will be good. They'll take whatever. It doesn't matter. And this can be applied more than just to eating. This can be applied to in many, many ways of something where you have enough of that, whatever it is. Not saying that it is overindulgence in anything, whatever that happens to be, or having too much of anything, but completely satisfied with whatever that is, that you're not interested in anymore at the moment. You're completely satisfied. You're good. That there doesn't, but to someone who has none of that and is, would like to have the honeycomb, would like to have just anything, well, every bitter thing is going to be sweet. Anything. And it is the perspective of need, is what it is. Someone doesn't need it, then they're not, may not really want it. They already have it, and I would like to talk more about this, but not today. All right, verse 8. Like a bird that wanders from its nest is a man who wanders from his place. Okay, so here I just want to, here is one verse in 27. There's another one coming up soon in 27. Yeah, it's verse 20, where I want to discuss the rendering that is here. I'm reading from the New King James, and I don't think the New King James rendered this right. I don't think so. But like a bird that wanders from its nest is a man who wanders from his place. Okay, so we can bring out the fact that God called Abraham to leave his home. And Abraham would be a nomadic after that. Okay. And one could say, well, he always kept his home. Okay, that's fine. But we can also look at Matthew 8 in verse 20, Luke 9 in verse 58. Jesus said to him, foxes have holes and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. I think the better rendering here is like a bird that strays from its nest, of which there stray, I think stray is the better word, and there are translations that translated that. Like a bird that strays from its nest is a man who strays from his place. That he is, we could say, absent without leave, or that he's just gone. And where did he go? He's kind of needed here, or he's attending to something that he has other responsibilities. He's not taking care of it. But now let's go to verse 9. Verse 9 and 10 go together. They have to do with friends. Again, talking about friendship. Ointment and perfume delight the heart, and the sweetness of a man's friend gives delight by hearty counsel. All right, this is in a same construction as verse 3. A stone is heavy, sand is weighty. Wrath, verse 4, wrath is cruel, anger a torrent. Ointment and perfume delight the heart. And here's something else that delights the heart. That would be good counsel from a friend. And, if you have foolish friends, if you have wicked friends, guess what counsel you're never going to get from them? It's good. You're not going to get it. A good friend is defined by good counsel. All right? And that's what a good friend does for you. A bad friend, you can't count on that one. that would be a rarity. And of course we have 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits or good morals. That's when you were a kid, your parents always wanted to see who you were hanging around. All right, they wanted to see who you were hanging around, because there could be some very bad influences. And they didn't want you being around those bad influences. And there could be someone that can give you bad advice or tempt you to do something you shouldn't be doing. And they didn't want you around that person. They would rather you be around someone that's not going to be getting you in trouble. And that's what a good friend, that's the sweetness that is there of that friend by hearty counsel. And I'll just bring in verse 17 real quick, and we'll have to call it a day. As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. That sharpened by that counsel that is there. Sharpened by being a good friend and helping each other in various ways. That they are, iron is sharpening iron, and this would be under the understanding of a good friend, not an evil one. A true friend, not a fair-weathered one. Each can become sharpened by the presence of the other, and sharpened by way of wisdom and good. We have come to our end this morning. I thank you for being here, and hopefully next week we can continue.